everything that Ghislaine Maxwell could offer, there's plenty of other information that other files out there could satiate some of those concerns about transparency by the public. So there's a lot of questions about why this meeting with Maxwell needed to happen when so many more people wanted it to happen.
Welcome to Reporter's Notebook, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the stories breaking their beats. I'm Jim Mantle, and I'm joined today by Justice Department reporter Kaelan Deese. Kaelan, what do we think the Justice Department is going to do about the criminal referrals from D&I Director Tulsi Gabbard about her sort of reappraisal of the whole Trump-Russia investigations of the first term? I mean, she's come out, she said that there was some manipulated intelligence. She's alleging that some of this was done deliberately by the highest ranks of the Obama administration, including the former president himself, and that these things are potentially criminal. How is the Justice Department going to handle these things, do we think?
Yeah, Obama, James Clapper, John Brennan, James Comey, it seems like all of these folks might have to seriously start lawyering up. I mean, we know that some of them are, including Clapper, just said as much. But to your point about what's going to happen, I mean, we've seen that the DOJ has already, through reports, been taking a hard look at some of the things that Gabbard has been putting out there. But we saw just this week that they announced a so-called strike force that they're calling as sort of their, like most serious public gesture yet to try to make this into something that the public knows they're taking seriously. It's going to result more so up front with examining whether there's anything there to what Gabbard is alleging, and from there I think that the prosecutors at the Justice Department will probably take a look and see if there's something that is there a statute of limitations issue? Is there something that can be drawn together to form a conspiracy? Many experts are saying if there is a conspiracy, it could be a conspiracy against rights that they would seek to go after. So it's definitely something that if they wanted to nail something within the 5-year limit of statute of limitations, they'd have to move pretty quickly. But if they're not going for that route, then they could just be going perhaps for conspiracy, and they could take their time more so before bringing any potential charges.
So obviously all of this is happening against the backdrop of what's happening with the Epstein files. The Trump administration has been under a lot of pressure to release more information ever since the Justice Department seemed to want to tamp all of that down earlier in the month. Where do things stand right now?
Well, what we're seeing right now is a lot of Democrats who haven't spoken too much about Jeffrey Epstein before in their political careers are beginning to speak more about him every single day. We're getting songs written by representatives and playing guitars about it. And it's seeming like this notion that Trump's been putting out there, that it's becoming this hoax, so to speak. He might have been self-fulfilling prophecy, causing Democrats to fall into that political trap, because from the Democratic side, it seems like they're kind of using it as a weapon against it. But obviously, we know that there's so many people who support Trump who see this as a serious issue that they're lacking some transparency on right now. And what we're seeing from those efforts is that the DOJ, back on July 6th, said that they were done releasing more Epstein-related information. But you talk to any prosecutor, and they will tell you that the DOJ has more information that they could release on their own. They don't need a court to necessarily do it. But we're seeing again and again from lawmakers on the Republican side and from the DOJ that they always reference back to victims that could be harmed through the release of files unilaterally. So they've sought to go down a middle path and say maybe we can just go for some of the grand jury transcripts that have been in both the original Epstein case in the 2000s, the one that was filed in New York, and then the one against Ghislaine Maxwell. They're seeking grand jury filings from all of those. And the person handling that effort is Trump's former criminal defense attorney, now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. And he's having a meeting this week, today, talking to Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorney there. And we're not privy to what that conversation is there in Tallahassee, but there's definitely something going on. And I will reiterate that everything that Ghislaine Maxwell could offer, there's plenty of other information that other files out there could satiate some of those concerns about transparency by the public. So there's a lot of questions about why this meeting with Maxwell needed to happen when so many more people wanted it to happen in public with congressional leaders, asking her questions, and being able to make it a more transparent project. So definitely something that we're watching and seeing what happens next.
Thank you, Kaelan. You can read Kaelan and the rest of our investigations team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.